Hey YouTube, welcome back to another review here at Thomas Opent. Yes, it's going to be one of my English reviews because I really want the person who sent me these beers to be able to follow everything I say. Um, this is one of the beers that I recently got from Saverio, from Italia. Salute Saverio. I hope I said that correctly. It is a beer from Alta Birra Quota. It is their AncestrAle. It is a pale ale coming in at 4.7% ABV, and it's brewed with leftover bread. I hate food waste. I hate food waste because I feel that there is already so much hunger in the world, so many environmental problems, and wasting food sucks. It's just, this is the reason why I always cook in exact portions. I only cook the amount of rice that I need, the amount of pasta that I need, the amount of potatoes that I need, the amount of everything is made sure to produce as less food waste as possible. So I really like this concept. Saverio said it's like an aperitivo, so something you drink before a meal. Maybe use it with some tapas or whatever. That could be probably be something along those lines. So we're looking at a lighter brew, brewed with leftover bread, which I think is, again, just a great concept. This is the second beer I'm going to try from these guys, and it pours somewhat darker honey, sort of like a amber color almost. Let's just quickly, oh, not even all that dirty. Yeah, it's slightly hazy, more like an unfiltered look than any real haze as you would probably describe haze these days. A very crisp white head, nice and fluffy, looks great. Very tiny bubbles on the bottom, sort of rougher bubbles, sort of like soapy bubbles on the top. And it really looks it almost has the look of like an unfiltered Pilsner to it, actually. I really like how this is coming across. It looks the part of a nice, fresh, clean aperitivo. So let's see if it plays that part. Saverio, thank you very much for sending me this. Let's see what she does in the nose, shall we? Oh, yeah. That's very citrusy. That's very citrusy, very malty. It's very crisp and I'm not gonna say very like clean, as in like some pilsners can be, because it definitely has that sort of yeasty, top fermented yeasty note to it. Sort of like a soft, spicy note. Again, it's probably the same yeast because it has that sort of like grisette saison thing that the other beer I tried from them, the what was it called again? Leonasso, I think it was. I like this. Very crisp, very refreshing. Big malty component to it, sort of like a caramel honey sweetness with a distinct bitterness in the nose. Grassy, slightly peppery, and again, definitely malty, bready. I'm not saying it's bready because of the used bread, because so many of these beers have that bready, malty component, but with the yeasty notes as well, it gives you that sort of like fresh baked bread component. This is really nice. It reminds me of something like a cross between what could be a Pilsner, because that refreshing light character, and something with a bit more of a oomph to it, like a Saison. Sub 5%, 4.7% ABV, so that's absolutely in my wheelhouse. I love beers like that. I like my beers to be of a lower ABV or like really big and bold. This smells great. Let's dive in, see what she does in terms of the palate. Cheers, Saverio. Oh yeah. This is nice. I think I took it out of the fridge. I put it in the fridge a little while ago. I took it out a little bit too soon. Should have probably given it was a little bit longer to get to a slightly colder temperature. But again, you get a nice refreshing bitterness, both from hops, but also from that sort of yeasty bitterness to it. It's got that malty, bready character to it. It's got that fresh, cleanness to it. Slightly mulled, slightly dirty. Definitely that citrusy thing going on. Grassy. It is almost like I said, somewhere like with the previous beer I had from them. It's somewhere between a Pilsner and like a grisette, like a lower ABV saison, something like that. Very drinkable, very crushable. It's probably, a lot of people will probably say this is a little bit boring because they keep thinking about, they're, like I said in the previous review, they're big, insane, over the top pastry stouts, pastry sours, double, triple hopped, dry hops, IPA, shit like that. This is much more in the vein of like drinking beer. This is the kind of stuff that when it's, again, I feel this feels like a re-review of the previous beer, but it's in that same. It's definitely a different beer, but in that same wheelhouse where you keep thinking about, that I want to sit in the backyard. I want to have some nice little antipastos or something, or something like a tapas spread in front of me, some nice snacks. Have something fatty, like some cured meats and maybe some olives, and then have this in between, like to cleanse your palate and just have a lovely, refreshing beverage or refreshing ale. These are old school drinking beers, and there is definitely still a place in the world for these things. People tend to forget them. People tend to go for their bold shit, their over the top stuff, but this is really nice and really easy drinking. And it just reminds me of the beers that I grew up with, some of those Belgian classics, the lower ABV Belgian blonde ales, things like that. Eminently drinkable, eminently crushable, flavorful. It's got the sweetness to it. It's got that sort of bitterness in it. It's nice. I like it. I really like this beer. And I really do hope people tend to, even if it's not from this brewery, if people in the Netherlands can't find it, will try stuff like this more and more and more. And people do. Like the average beer drinker drinks stuff like this a lot. It's like the beer geeks, like the people who hunt the whales, who always go for the hard to get, um, insanely priced, big, high brewery stuff. And there's nothing wrong with those beers because I get those as well. I buy those as well. I receive them. I drink them. I enjoy them. They're amazing. They're wonderful, and they're shockingly good. But this is what we grew up with. And this is nice. This is good stuff. This is a lovely, lovely beer, Severio. Thank you very much for sending me this. I will. Oh, it's got that sort of honey, almost like a honey. It's got that nice honey sweetness to it. I like this. Mm. Here's to hoping that Alta Birra will find. Did I say that correctly? Alta Birra Quota will find a distributor for the Netherlands. Otherwise, I'll just see what I can do. But this is nice. I like it. Thank you very much, Severio. I'm going to enjoy this. And that's it for this review. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. In the description box below, you will find links to all of my social media. If I don't forget, I'll put a link there to Alta Birra. You'll find a link to all of my social media, a link to the Dutch Beer Collective, and a link to mysterybeer.nl. Please do go check out the reviews of my friends in the Dutch Beer Collective, Remy, Douglas, and Gerben. Leave some comments, and I'll see all of you guys in another review soon. Cheers.